positioning was quite aggressive. As we see the arrow come through in the mid lane, hits onto Nisqy. Humanoid's going to land the chains as well. The true shot of Ashe is enough, and Nisqy doesn't get a chance to move.
No Q.
I will go base after this.
No flash. Oh, nice.
Nice.
Goes into Mega. Does not have the flash, but he has the dash to only bring back Humanoid, and now SK are on the back foot, forced away. As Noah gets a shutdown, Nisqy puts the Emperor's Divide up for those bodyguards.
And welcome back here in the LEC as Fnatic strikes back here in Game 2 and takes down SK. I did not expect us to have 3 games here because we set the stage for Fnatic to have the edge here on the SK lineup. Tell me about the way they managed to come back here, Jamada.
I mean, to me, for Fnatic, this game was all about the dragons, right?
Yeah.
They ended up with a 4-dragon soul. There was a lot of cross-mapping in the early stages between the grubs and the dragon. And then eventually, it just kind of turned into a... SK had, in a way, almost accidentally neglected the fact that they'd allow Fnatic to pick up so many dragons, and it also bled into a couple of roams, also from the bottom side, which they necessarily weren't prepared for.
But it's been the same for both games so far in the series, actually. Like, Razork's bot lane productivity has been really high. He's been really good at picking up the Drakes. Both games, they had the soul. This game, though, they managed to close it out without multiple Elder Dragons and then losing the game. So Razork here has been pivotal for Fnatic the entire series.
And I feel like Razork, we know that when he was popping off, he was really popping off, but he had some off games as well. I feel like he's been feeling it since the beginning of the season, and even in difficult situations, he manages to come back and drive his team to victory.
Yeah, completely locked in so far today. I have to say, it's my favorite phrase.
It is, really.
And yeah, it seems like Fnatic as a whole are taking on his confidence to advance forward when it makes sense and to not necessarily overstep. Fnatic have been, for the most part, pretty disciplined, especially this game 2 was pretty good.
It's so typical Fnatic as well in this fashion. We saw it against G2 too, where they dropped the first game. They look completely lost.
Yeah.
And the same can kind of be said about the first game. Then they managed to bring it back into a game 2, and it just feels like they have instantly gotten the feedback that they need, and they're just ready to apply it on the Rift.
Or they're downloading the opponent.
Yeah, that too, because there was a lot of download here.
But yeah, honestly, when you look at the setups like this, especially around objectives, I feel like this is where Fnatic has been the cleanest in the early game, actually.
SK were either on the back foot this game because of their setup, or Fnatic were just so proactive that there was no real catching up to it. Except here, where maybe...
about this, shall we?
Yeah, I mean, that goes down to the fact that it's never really a fully clean game as well, but also to the fact that there is still step-up members on SK. Irrelevant is still being the best top laner right now and just absolutely having a monster performance on the Gnar, but it's the setup as well after this Gnar with Nisqy that comes in, so we still see the lights of why SK's roster can be so good, but in a game like this, it was just Fnatic running away with it, and one team fight that goes well is not enough for SK to win it.
Exactly. SK's team play is still present here in this series, even though the game 1 was a little bit sloppy. This game a little bit put out of the game perhaps because of those objectives. In this game 3, I kind of want to see them double down on it, and for me it's a bit of a weird call, I think, especially because of how messy the bot lane fight is. Maybe actually put some resources into Irrelevant in the early game. I think he's actually performing well enough that this could be an angle you could look at to at the very least try and answer out what's going on the bottom side of the map.
I agree, but we said the same thing the previous series for SK, and it feels like they have a different vision on how they want to play the game, but it's game 3 now, guys. It's all or nothing. Go hard or go home. And come back next split. Who is taking the next one when you look at the draft that both teams have played here, leading into this game 3, this final game for both teams? Who's got the momentum? Who showed the most interesting League of Legends coming here today, GB?
Yeah, I mean, unquestionably, Fnatic has the momentum coming into it, and I think it goes to show that you need to stop them on that dragon taking, because even when they lost the game 1, that was still something they were so prevalent at doing. I might have a different take on it. I think Irrelevant is so good, he doesn't necessarily need resources, but right now you have a part of the map that's bleeding, and that is that dragon area. I think you need the bot lane ahead in a position where they're actually allowed to have priority early game, so they can match Fnatic, not so much only about the Drake, but also so we don't see the move as we saw from June, moving into mid lane, making sure Humanoid gets ahead. The bot lane of Fnatic, when they get unleashed, there's just too many things they can do when they team up with Razork.
And then for me, I guess that probably starts trying to get Nisqy in a prio lane as opposed to like a necessarily a winning matchup, just something that actually allows him to shove out the wave for free, try and keep Humanoid down, or at the very least tied up so he has to catch waves or miss waves if he tries to match Nisqy on her own. And perhaps, again, I feel like the strongest parts of SK that we've seen throughout the year so far was Isma and Nisqy pairing up together. So if that's maybe an answer, I feel like that's an avenue they could explore.
And that's the issue. I don't see the fire that I've seen from Nisqy and Isma in the regular season so far in playoffs. I'm just wondering, what has been going wrong. We heard Swiffer in pregame interview last week saying that there were some disagreements in the way to see the game in SK. I'm just wondering if it's something that carried through this series or if they're on the same page here, because when I look at game 1, this was SK's game to lose.
It's a good question, right? Because I also think that as a foreman unit, disregarding the top lane, that's what we're talking about. The mid jungle.
We don't care about top lane.
We don't. But the mid jungle and the support and AD carry, we often see so many bot lane dives in the beginning, and so far it has been SK who's been the recipient of these dives too, not so much Fnatic on the other hand. So I think having them four actually team up, which was something they were really good at doing. We saw DOS the boss rather, on the bot in the regular season, where he teams up with Isma quite often. That is something we haven't seen too often right now, and I wish we saw a bit more of it when Nisqy also gets incorporated.
Yeah, it's just strange because we've seen the ceilings that SK can very clearly hit, and this series, absolute cinema. It's such a great meme.
It is the best meme we have of Humanoid this year. But yeah, Humanoid has been playing fantastic as well. So focus on this mid lane matchup as well. Him and Razork doing God's work right now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess to me, like I kind of mentioned earlier, it's another avenue they could look to potentially explore. For me, try and keep Razork down. By having mid lane priority, it also kind of enables the fact that Humanoid is going to have to just stay in the mid lane and farm away and maybe get some pushback waves. That's going to be the best case scenario, and then SK, like we saw in the regular season, look to be proactive on the side lanes.
It is do or die for both teams. Game 3, elimination on the line here for either of these teams that we will see in spring. We have one last game to decide the final team for next week, as SK Gaming and Fnatic are fighting for their lives in the winter playoffs. Let's hit the rift for Game 3.
Let's hit it hard. I want to see kills before 10 minutes. I want to see good smites. I want to see fun compositions as well. Like, Fnatic's composition worked really well, and the Ocean Soul definitely helped them out a lot with the amount of sustain it gave them. But it wasn't the most explosive of comps, right? No. It was kind of a walk at them menacingly. And then they had to try.
It was kind of this idea of just like throwing a lot of rocks at them. Yeah. And then when a rock connected, then they threw a giant blob of goo at them.
Actually, a really fun Magic the Gathering deck, by the way.
Oh, stop. We're playing a different game, Medic. This is a different game.
I'm just trying to get him into Magic, guys. If you want Vedius to join us on our Magic escapades.
We're going into Game 3 now. We're going into Game 3.
Is that Vedius, right?
Game 3. Let's see what the draft entails.
SK on the blue side. Ban, Brand. A Jax ban.
Will it be Varus? Will it be Maokai?
Probably be Varus and Maokai. For the next two bans, there we go.
Will it be Draven, perhaps? Or will it be Kalista?
Could be either of those two.
Could be.
Do they prioritize the Senna again? Or Karma band away?
Karma band away. That means that AD carries are up. So how will Fnatic respond?
Just saying, Senna has 100% loss rate
so far
in this tournament.
Now we have also seen
this series,
SK play. Well, they're going to prioritize the Rell. They value that a lot. Makes sense. You can also still flex it into support, but we assume it's going to be for Isma. It's a bit of a one-trick this series, but he's playing his role well. Are they still interested in the Ezreal? Of course, the Ezreal Ashe was still a powerful duo.
Instead here, the Ezreal Vi locked in for Fnatic. Give Razork something.
Zyrakan.
Really well in the 2v2. Zyrakan, a possibility. Could Poppy flex the Rell? You can always play Poppy support or top as well.
A lot of contemplation here from the side of SK. We talked about the Draven being left open. Are they going to look to lock it in?
Plus something that has CC for the Ezreal. Maybe a Nautilus, perhaps, Vedius.
The question is, will they prioritize the Nautilus? They could always look to try and get their mid laner here if they want something like Orianna instead. It's been denied away from them so far this entire series. But it also makes sense for them to lock in their support if they want to. Remember that Renata is still up. We've been seeing her as like a priority ban, and there she is. All right. So this is a very powerful 2v2 bot lane.
Yeah.
Draven Renata, double ranged, great setup from the Renata, and just a lot of damage. Also great disengage thanks to her ultimate. The moment that Vi goes in, you can just chuck the ultimate down, and any follow-up becomes that much harder.
And the risk remains for the Ezreal Ashe bot lane. If you do get caught out, you're going to die very quickly against the Draven.
Very true. So, with the Akali being banned away, Fnatic definitely hinting towards an Azir. But we saw that cheeky Corki hover from Nisqy. And I'm wondering if that is something that Humanoid goes for. With the Karma gone away, do they want to just run it back with the poke composition again? Draven is naturally very short-ranged. And I think the problem with when playing into a poke comps is that you need good engage.
Yeah.
And I think that relying on Isma wasn't enough in the previous game. The Nautilus also wasn't really working out the way that they wanted it to. So maybe they need to go for something stronger, maybe something like an Ornn or a Scion or something that can just
Malphite.
Malphite, another great option. Into Ez, I like it less so.
Yeah, I like it into the Ashe though. And anyone that plays Ashe support kind of deserves to be the key focus of the opposition. Casante banned away, but from Fnatic, obviously Irrelevant showed just how powerful he can be on that.
It's a common red side ban
Yep.
because it's how safe of a champion he is to pick on this 4-5 blue. So will SK look to ban away into the mid laner? Will they narrow that pool down? Do they consider the Corki a threat or not?
Hwei also an option in terms of bans.
Another
SK
great
will take
poke
that away.
champ.
Yeah, exactly, right? Does exactly the same thing as, or a very similar thing to the Corki.
He does a bit of everything, if we're being really honest. That is kind of his role as an invoker, enchanter. I forget the official title.
I don't know, man. Like,
But
I
a
don't
man
know
with
any
a
of the
lot of
official titles.
spells, basically. So how will Fnatic round this one out? What mid laner are they looking at? And
There we are.
it's looking like it's going to be the Corki.
Good prediction,
Will we
Betty.
get the official Corki Azir? I don't know if I like Azir into this. Because again, you're looking at a Fnatic comp that had an insane amount of poke, and you have to think back to last game, what was the problem? That they could never really get a good fight off.
Yeah.
So now they need to draft in a way that gives them an ability to close that gap against Ezreal Corki, have that dash.
I was going to ask how you feel about TF early on, because obviously can still be flex, but TF mid for Nisqy is one of his most well-known picks across the years.
True.
Even played it a lot when he was on Fnatic. If you remember those good old days.
Recall those days.
And it gives you another avenue to attack bot lane. And if you can constantly be ulting down there with the Destiny, lock out the Ashe from fights.
Well, the question is this TF even mid? Is it top? What are SK cooking right now?
Pick another champion here that you can flex.
Rumble. We know exactly where that TF is
Less
going.
flexible. Yeah, it's less flexible.
So again, a lot of the engage falls on the responsibility of Isma. And Fnatic have just said, okay, we'll go on.
You hear the cheers as well from the Fnatic fans. He's like, you can't lose lane on this one as well.
It's the great thing about Ornn is it just helps create more space for your poke, but it does the exact same thing that Zach did in the previous game, which is once the poke has landed, now we have a tool to start the fight.
Yep.
You can easily follow up on those Vi engages. Fnatic has basically rang back the draft that they did in game 2, and SK have gone for, well, an effective side lane composition. They have a bit of team fighting in there. They have decent disengage. But I think it's very difficult to find those initiations into Fnatic's composition because of how reliant they are on Isma. So we will have to see. I think range is a big deal in this game.
Yeah.
And we'll see how SK can navigate the shortcoming of their composition.
It is comfort champs for SK though. Isma on his most played. Nisqy, we talked about his TF Exakick. Even when he was on in the LFL, Draven was what he was known for. It was what he always brought out in the big games. Played it against, who did SK beat in their last series? Jetlag kicking my butt slightly. Yeah, neither of us can remember.
Heretics?
Heretics, yeah. Played against Heretics in game 3 as well, so just trying to pull out all the stops to make it through to the next round. Winner of this plays up against MDK on Friday. And then obviously BDS await and the final boss G2 will await in the finals on Sunday.
Here we are though.
Taking to the Rift in game 3 of this best of 3.
All or nothing. One of these teams goes on to fight Mad Lions Koi. Together will end their winter split. Will return in spring. There we go, our final game of the best of 3. Week 5 is about to end. Nisqy using the limited edition pack skin.
That's a flex right there.
As a flex. We won't tell everyone that you have access to all the skins. And
No, he was there, man. He was at PAX. He bought some packs. It's a Magic the Gathering player.
God damn it, stop.
Exakick as well on the Draven, undefeated in the LEC, 4-0. Wanting to keep that streak going. Obviously can apply a lot of pressure onto Jun and Noah. You see Noah going cleanse with the heal on Jun this time instead of the barrier and the heal on Noah, as we saw in game number 2.
I think I like this more, personally. just because it kind of gives Noah 2 summoner spells.
Yeah.
He doesn't get the full value out of the heal, right? But
And in game 2, he had to deal with the hook, but you can buffer E out of the hook. Whereas if you buffer E out of a stun, you still get stunned by the gold card. And the handshake obviously can pull you back, and then there's the hostile takeover for the Berserk. Nisqy tried to trade in here. He's got fleet footwork. Humanoid with a Gatling gun trying to rattle through, but the red card from Nisqy means that he's winning out on this trade so far.
I mean, the first strike, getting him a decent amount of gold there. And Humanoid with a very nice trade.
Dawson Exakick already feeling the brunt here.
ADTF Nisqy?
Fleet footwork, I think you take relatively commonly with a Dawn's Blade start in lane just for the extra harass with your autos.
Just throwing the idea out there.
I mean, it definitely could be because you have the AP threat from top, right? So if you have Irrelevant as your only AP threat, then it means that his damage will stick even more, and he has been consistently getting leads in these games, so having him
Also, I just think ADTF is such a nuisance. We got to see it from the Fnatic game yesterday. I think over in North America, they even played it in the actual AD carry position. But as a champion, it's very obnoxious to deal with.
Really good Hawk shot there, because not only does it spot the fact that the bot side start happened from Isma, it also spots the fact he hasn't started pathing over to his top side. So they know Isma is looking at something on this bot side of the map.
Razork will be spotted on a ward. He has his eyes set on a dive bot lane. They demonstrated this in game 1. They're looking to make the same play happen, but this time Isma's in a position to answer.
How quickly can he get there? He's going to mount up, try to get across in time. Dive hasn't started yet. Irrelevant winning out on this trade. Oscarinin being burnt down as Razork turns his attention over to the Rell.
There's not much for Razork to take here, though. The person who's in most danger right now is Nisqy. You'll see him hovering around the top half of the lane. He's cautious of the fact of a potential gank, but also acknowledges there's a big wave that Humanoid needs to catch, so the likelihood of him getting ganked here is very low. In a comfortable spot right now. I was also just thinking more about it. You know, the Twisted Fate passive, we've seen how impactful it is, specifically on ADTF, and how much extra gold you generate. I wonder if the first strike was in part to try and match some of that additional gold that the Twisted Fate also generates passively.
Oscarinin, what's he building? What's he crafting?
Looks like he's going to cancel it.
Ruby Crystal, gets it.
I think he's dead here, Medic.
I think he might be as well. Now, he does have tools to escape. He puts down the pillar. He'll flash forward, land a double knocker, but no one tanking the tower yet. And now, Isma dives in to tank the turret. Oscar is dead, burnt his flash through it as well, whereas SK didn't have to use a single summoner to get that kill.
The idea was really good there from Oscar. I think it was just a little too early, right? You highlighted it. It was the fact that no one actually had the aggro yet. Even though he gets a 2-man knockup, no one's in any real danger. So they wait, and they make the play happen. First blood over to SK. Doss is tiered just to be a nuisance, likely helping Nisqy push this wave out so he can get a comfortable base. Doss may even use his stack. Oh, no, he's not going to.
Depends on how you want to play the wave there, right? You don't really want to push it in too far. Nisqy can hold this wave a little bit closer to his turret, adds a little bit of safety to him. The stack would have pushed it back out. Importantly, while the kill happened in the top lane, Razork went in, stole a blue, stole that topside Scuttle Crab, or at least secured it, and so that means he gets double Scuttle. Isma will realize that as he passes down towards this bottom lane, but he might just look for Humanoid. Nisqy steps forward. Humanoid has the Valkyrie, and he'll use it to escape.
So no one in any real danger. The waves will continue to farm. Isma is looking for something. He's spending a lot of time wandering the map. Perhaps he can get this Gromp respawn. Definitely be valuable in terms of experience, but instead... Okay, no, he's committing to it.
Try and pull it down away from where Razork would be.
Does, of course, have the smite as well. But here's Razork looking for his own Gromp. He's like, hang on a minute.
The problem for Razork is that Doss and Exakick have the push in the bottom lane right now, so they can both react, whereas only Jun could come across. Isma will realize there are no wolves to be poached, and so should just work his way back down. Maybe go to his Krugs. His topside camps haven't really been farmed at all. His Gromp and his Wolves still available to him, but it'll only be level 1. They're going to try and dive.
Isma is really committing to this bot side of the map. Twisted Fate of level 6, that's what they're looking for. The level 6 has been hit. Here comes the ult, here comes the dive.
So Razork's on his way. They'll go for Jun because he doesn't have cleanse. There's the gold card, there's the lockup. Exakick running past as well, and Jun falls first. Doss tanking the tower. Razork joins up with his teammates. Humanoid on his way with the level 6 as well. They lock up Nisqy for a second, but the stun card into the handshake, into the pull, back into Razork. Falling again. Exa dies to the tower. Doss dies to the auto. Nisqy almost falls to a missile barrage from the side. In the end, a 2 for 2.
The good news for SK is that Exakick gets one of the kills, so he is able to take advantage of the cash stack. The bad news is that Exakick also ends up losing his life, and the people that got the kills...
Really bad news for Oscarinin here, by the way. The Equalizer's down and Irrelevant's going to burn him out.
Solo kill.
Yeah.
Irrelevant has just had Oscarinin's number in this series, and he's doing it again here in Game 3 with the Rumble advantage. 1k gold lead now for the top laner of SK, but we look back at this play. Very well executed overall from SK. You called it, Medic. The focus onto the support because there's lack of cleanse gets that initial cash out. Great start for SK. Now they need to get out. DOS tanked a lot of tower shots. He can't really offer that much more assistance. But you can see Razork just trying to buy time as SK is able to get a kill back. Humanoid and Noah able to secure that kill onto Exakick, with DOS only buying a little bit more time with his skills.
Oh, fight in the mid lane
Very
happening right now. DOS getting chunked away. Handshake out. Humanoid running low on mana. Won't have too many missiles in the chamber. Nisqy falling short here, though. The gold card into the bailout. Will it be enough? Isma flashes for it. Razork flashes for another kill. 1 for 1 so far, but now Jun is in the midst of SK and he'll fall. Irrelevant coming in from the side as well. No equalizer for him. Razork, no flash, and with Exakick on his way. There's the gold card, and Razork will burn. They'll give it to Exa if they can. SK now 7-3 up.
What should have been a favorable skirmish for Fnatic ends in disaster immediately into the replay. Humanoid trying to catch DOS and Nisqy. Look at the initial damage that comes out. The first stun card to buy a little bit of time. Then Jun and Humanoid turn their attention onto Nisqy, but the bailout buys them enough time with the arrival of Isma to actually get the kill and bring Nisqy back to life. While Razork does get that kill onto DOS, they realize with the numbers advantage of Irrelevant joining the fray, they're forced to run away. And it's all things up SK. Exakick even being hand-delivered a kill. 7 kills to 3, a 2.5k gold lead. A round of applause from Nisqy. A great early game start for SK.
And one from Swiffer earlier as well. He's very happy with how this has gone. 2,000 gold lead now for SK. He didn't get the first Drake. Irrelevant realizing that he does not have control of this side of the map right now. He just equalizes the wave. Will go back. His first item, Razork on the grubs. So objectively, as in terms of objectives, Fnatic ever so slightly ahead because they're 1 grub to 0 and there's no Drakes taken yet for SK. But in terms of gold, I think SK are sitting pretty right now.
This Draven is super strong as well. Hasn't quite yet completed an item, but no one has. Sitting on the highest amount of gold so far in this game. The Fnatic faithful still stand strong. But you can see how this early game is getting very scary for them. They're relying on their scaling. The range is the big thing that we talked about.
Noah has cleanse, but Jun does not. Exa puts the whirling death down, and Jun is meeting his maker. Call to the Forge God from Oscarinin. He's low, though. Humanoid trying to join the fray as Isma lands the stun. Nisqy sacrifices himself once again for the good of the team. Isma's trying to jump away. The cease and desist into Magnet Storm will end this up being a 2 for 1. In favor of Fnatic.
A TP from Oscar means that he's able to help Fnatic get kills back, but it means more gold for Irrelevant in the top lane. This Rumble is getting very scary very quickly, but Fnatic have to focus on the positives. They'll secure themselves a dragon. And in terms of objectives, they're in a good spot. Noah going to grab himself a plate as well. You look at the gold difference between the AD carries. It's 3-3 in kills, only an 83 difference. So Fnatic definitely not down and out just yet. The only real problem is this Rumble in the top lane in the immediate future.
Noah might be in a little bit of a sticky situation as Isma looks for the chase. Noah will hold the E for as long as possible. Still gets stuns. There's a knock-up. There's the gold card as well. Noah flashes away. Gets to the safety of his tower. Burns the summoner to do so.
Not ideal. Overstays a little bit longer than he should have. SK can't quite find the kill, but as you rightly said, they get themselves a summoner. No one else on the map for Fnatic to allow for any other play to happen. Exakick has been sent over to mid. Twisted Fate hangs around the bot side of the map. It looks like it will be this AD Twisted Fate based on his build path.
You're right.
I mean, that does also kind of reinforce the Rumble top being the AP damage, right?
Such a strong
spotted
position.
here. Humanoid, is he gonna...
He won towards him? No. Didn't have the vision on him, so just allows Nisqy to base there. Importantly for Fnatic, they did pick up that Ocean Dragon, which stops SK's scaling in its tracks in terms of, getting towards the soul a little bit quicker. We saw Isma trying to get that dragon earlier on and wasn't able to secure it because of the fight in mid.
Now, if you are a Fnatic fan, the good news for you is that your comp is supposed to be weak at this point in the game.
Sure.
To be at a deficit shouldn't come as too much of a surprise. It's all about mitigating that deficit as much as possible. And to Fnatic's credit, they've done just that. You look at the mid lane, you look at the bot lane, they're in very comfortable positions. They're keeping on par in terms of the itemization and pace. They're matching in terms of kills. They've had very similar impacts. Humanoid has been able to roam alongside Nisqy every time he's tried to make a play in bot. As we mentioned, the only big problem is Irrelevant in the top lane.
Isma's going to get arrowed. Tries to mount up and get away. Nisqy's here, though. Flash from Isma. Call of the Forge God still connects. Jun trying to put the damage in from the side, and now the collapse does begin. Irrelevant does have TP as well, and there we go. Stun card immediately onto Noah. No cleanse available for him right now. The Whirling Death landing onto all four members. Exakick falls low. Will they bring it back in time? They just had to kill Razork, but they do it a second too late. They still find two. There's three. As Irrelevant starts to open up, the flame spitting and SK's engine purring. As Fnatic already lost 4 of their players, and the flash from Humanoid won't come out. He knows he's done for.
That's an ace! 12 minutes into the game, a triple kill secured for Irrelevant. And the play out we were just talking about that Fnatic wanted to avoid, they run headfirst into. They tried to make a dive happen on the top side of the map. SK's bot lane is already on the rotation up. Look at your minimap. They're sitting in the mid lane. They're making their way up towards the top side river, and Irrelevant is just waiting for the TP play. Does he commit to it or not? Debating. The ward comes through, then they commit. Razork is doing what he can to buy time for his team to disengage. Oscarinin gets a nice knockup, but all of this is onto Exakick when the real threat is Irrelevant. A great equalizer across the back line. The initial upfront damage. Fnatic get a few picks back, but the Rumble gets a triple kill.
Just gets stronger and stronger. You could see Noah was trying to get back into the fight and accidentally stepped on the equalizer, slowing him, allowing the chase to continue for SK. And now 3,000 gold ahead. And look for these grubs, will be 3 apiece between the two teams. Drake up in a minute 30. But Irrelevant has a needlessly large rod and a Leandries. He is absolutely shredding through Fnatic. They don't have a dedicated tank outside of Oscarinin, and Oscarinin fell so far behind in the lane that he's not going to be tanky for a while. Arrow comes out, goes wide as Nisqy dodges away. Razork should be able to steal this. Does so with the smite.
Buff secured. Second dragon hasn't fallen just yet, which means that Laure isn't available for someone else to pick it up as well. SK have control over the mid wave. They've even brought Irrelevant down from top lane into mid. Looks like he's stealing away Raptors and setting up for a potential dive onto Jun. No flash, remember, on this support.
No, will come across as well. Now, Fnatic should be very verbal in their comms right now, saying, hey guys, we haven't seen Irrelevant in a good 45 seconds.
That's correct.
So they wait until there's not too much of a minion wave left, and then they clear it out. The Dragon up in 30 seconds time. The resets begin for SK. Bot support going to back away. Irrelevant's TP still half the way off cooldown, so he'll start to walk his way back down. Might do the Gromp. I wonder if SK don't really care too much about this Drake if Irrelevant goes back up towards top.
The problem for SK with losing that early Drake is if Fnatic also get this one, they can then just abandon the next 2 Drakes.
Yeah. I mean, they can abandon the next 4 if they really want to, or 3 at least, right?
Yeah.
You give them sole point.
So it's one of those things where by Fnatic securing this one, it just gives them a lot of time to scale, which SK don't want.
Yeah.
They want to force Fnatic into these fights now. This is where they have this massive lead. They know that they are way stronger, but they're going to concede it. They're going to use this Herald, which I definitely don't think is a bad trade by all means. You can use this Herald to open up mid lane and start forcing more of these mid-game plays. Just a little worried for SK in terms of being able to force the fights that they want now that Fnatic find themselves with 2 dragons. We'll see how it goes though. Fnatic will also secure that bot tier 1. The Herald now unlocked for SK.
Humanoid also had the passive through that whole sequence of events, just used it in the bottom lane after the tower went down, so maybe SK just respecting the fact that they didn't really want to fight into the package on Corki. Rift Herald, though, as you say, was picked up. Isma and Dos working their way up towards the top side. Exakick on his way as well. Oscarinin, if he stays around, might be in for a world of hurt, but does already have the Kainic Rook Urn.
He's quite tanky already.
Yeah, Razork's here as well. With Exakick,
There's 4
Oscarinin
people
becomes
now.
a little bit less tanky. There's the TP, Enchanted Crystal Arrow coming down as well, and Isma's tanking the tower. He's locked up for days. Isma will fall. Fnatic react perfectly in the top lane. Razork can look for more cease and desist, the possibility. Go for Irrelevant. You have to field the call. He flashes early. Knows that he would have been a key target there for Fnatic.
Fnatic overstacking on top means that Nisqy can secure a mid-tier 1. But that arrow from Jun was crucial. CCing Isma underneath the tower sets up Oscarinin very nicely to follow up with the ultimate of his own. And Fnatic, they dissuade the dive. They buy themselves a little bit more time. SK, they're going to have to be careful with how they translate this lead that they have. We look back at it. You can see the arrow coming out from Jun. Oscar knows what's about to happen. And the turret aggro does connect onto Isma. Really nice ultimate comes through from Oscarinin as well. They just push them away from the dive. Getting the flash out from Relevant is huge as well. If Baron was up, would have been a great window for Fnatic to start that one off, but we're still a ways away from that.
It's still 3 minutes before Baron does spawn. And both the teams still butting heads in this series. 2,500 gold lead for SK. They are in the driver's seat of this game, but I won't say all the seatbelts are fastened. Still a little bit precarious for them if things continue on their current trajectory. Winner of this obviously plays up against Mad Lions Koi on Friday. Friday, as we keep trying to remind you.
Yeah, you got to get down on Friday. You got to remember that.
It's Friday, then Saturday, Sunday.
Monday.
True. But we do also play on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, not on Monday. Very crucial. We do play on Friday next week. And that will be Mad Lions Koi versus the winner of this series.
Yes.
Yeah. Dragon spawning in 2.5 minutes, which primarily means the teams are just going to be catching waves for the time being. Irrelevant continues his presence in top lane. The big thing about that last play that happened is obviously Oscarinin is behind in gold.
Yes.
But I feel like he's very close to his second item. And then at that point, he can just be a nullifier, you know? That the magic penetration that Irrelevant has is just, well, I know its whole purpose is to shred through armor. But
magic penetration is through magic, it's not armor, but yes.
That's what, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I meant magic armor. I meant the magical kind. Wait, hang on. Isma face checks.
Arrow goes wide. Isma has flash, can dash this wall, but the cease and desist will lock him up. The flash comes out. The true shot barrage will be enough to get the kill. Call of the Forge God as Fnatic start to pray for a good fight today. Irrelevant puts the equalizer down. Oscarinin diving forward. Hostile takeover not enough, but Exakick might be as Humanoid falls low. Noah and Humanoid blinking health bars. DOS falls first though. Irrelevant unable to get further into this play as Razork steps a little bit too far and he's down. Good knock-up from Oscarinin though, and now all that front line dead for SK. Fnatic find 3.
You feel the momentum shifting, Medic. Fnatic find another favorable fight. Exakick struggling to get involved as Isma was caught off right from the get-go. He face checks this burst. The Humanoid is lying in wait. Good burst damage to start off the fight. The arrow doesn't quite connect, but the TP immediately from Oscarinin. A good ultimate from Noah to secure that kill is all Fnatic need to start off this fight. DOS gets chain CC'd. A nice Rumble ultimate, but it's only connecting onto the front line. The back line feels very safe. The Renata ultimate actually ended up doing a lot of work on the back line, but it wasn't quite enough. Razork oversteps just a little bit, but it doesn't matter because they end up getting a trade kill onto Irrelevant, a shutdown onto the Rumble, his first death of the game. A huge team fight win for Fnatic. The gold gap is very quickly closing.
And just much more of a death ball coming out from Fnatic than SK. SK was split to the winds. And that gold lead beginning to shrink a little bit, down to 1,500. Fnatic can give this, Drake. It's up in 30 seconds, but they don't really care. They've already got to their names. SK, you know, you'll try and set something up around here in case Fnatic decide that they want to pay a little bit of attention to the Dragon spawning, but Fnatic can just play through mid, catch that next mid wave, look for the tower. Noah's starting to do exactly that. Razork's had a couple of steals already. Humanoid
has the package in base.
Has the TP.
Here he comes.
There it is. TP's forward.
Yeah, Fnatic want to fight this. They feel strong.
DOS's hostile takeover not up yet. Isma on the front line. Big damage from the whirling death. Isma lands the stun onto Razork. Irrelevant trying to find a good equalizer. The arrow going down once again. The equalizer comes out and Jun will burn. Isma now in the midst of 3. The hostile takeover finds 2 as Noah has to dash away across the wall. Razork caught in the middle as Isma's brought back to life by the bailout. The Cloud Drake secured for Fnatic at the cost of 2 lives.
So still a one fight for SK. You can see the damage is still very much real on the side of SK. Fnatic feeling confident after that play, can't quite find the fight that they want, but they get the objective. They find themselves now at Soul Point. They would love to unlock this tower, but they're a little skeptical about overstaying. They know that Nisqy still has his ultimate. So they're going to choose to back away. TP invested from Irrelevant.
The thing is, they saw that Humanoid and Noah didn't like instant reset after the Drake. So maybe they're thinking, hey, they're not on their reset. Can we just really rush this Baron down? We're going to do a lot of damage to it. Exakick strong, Irrelevant strong as soon as he joins the fight.
He has to be suspicious.
Jun steps forward. Obviously he's suspicious, but SK are doing their best job at not being suspicious here. As the Destiny comes out, Razork's going to try and get into steal, but he's only got the Blast Cone and Nisqy's there to stop him. The True Shot Barrage will not be enough. Nisqy's going to get locked up, but he can Destiny gate out. And a beautiful little sneak steal there by SK.
Great awareness, all from the fact that Humanoid and Noah choosing to stay in mid to go for that extra presence. And it's just a great timing, as you highlighted. People on Fnatic still need to respawn, need to come back out onto the map. We go all the way back to the fight. And it's this chain CC that connects onto Isma, but look at the damage that still comes out from the Draven. Great chip to start things off. At this point, Fnatic say go, 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 but that re-engage onto the backline is fantastic when paired with the Rumble ultimate. So many members of Fnatic have taken so much damage before even committing to the fight. Noah's forced one way, Humanoid's forced another, while SK still remains strong as a 5-man unit, allowing them to hit the person in front of them. Well-played fight from SK. And again, like, we're constantly seeing the impact of Irrelevant in these fights. I cannot sing his praises enough. Throughout this series, you've felt his presence.
You really have.
You can't, incredible performance this split. On the Rumble, he is the big carry.
It's like a kid at Christmas. It's felt his presence.
That's true.
Shaking them, trying to find out what's inside as Dots lands the handshake onto Razork, the gold card to the follow-up, and Razork's locked up, Equalizer down, hostile takeover used, a lot invested by SK to kill the enemy jungler. And they have a wave pushing in mid.
Now they can siege. They're gonna melt through this tower. The stun comes on to Exakick, but he has his team to defend him. Another tower gets unlocked. SK now playing it safe, choosing to reset. This is looking fantastic for SK.
It does feel a little bit like they need to get quite a lot out of this Baron, though. You know, they have a minute and a half left on it. They've broken a tier 2 in the mid lane. They snuck it away. They have 2,000 gold out of it right now, but if we get towards the next Drake, well, then they kind of have to fight that because it's soul for Fnatic. And then even if they steal that one away, that's another 5 minutes that Fnatic get to scale, and they'll be at 4 items on Noah instead of just the 3 where he currently resides. So they're going to go for this top lane tier 2. True Shot Barrage out again, and Exakick's low. Call to the Forge God being brought down. A prayer sent up by Fnatic as Exakick falls lower. Malignant's ticking away on him. Nisqy with the gold card lands onto Razork with a flash forward into the double stun. Irrelevant, no equalizer for him. The chase continues here from Fnatic. A good handshake will pull them back. Razork falls first. Arrow onto Isma. The re-engage a possibility. Irrelevant. Look at that equalizer time of Eddie. Top left corner, it's almost back up, and there it goes! The whirling death on 2! As Irrelevant flashes forward, pops a stopwatch, and pops Fnatic where they stand! A beautiful re-engage from SK as they wipe away Fnatic! And is that enough to close out this game?
With the Baron buff and an ace, they can look to try and break into the base of Fnatic. All 5 members dead. Razork going to be alive in 10 seconds. These health bars are blinking from SK. It's going to be a close one. I think it's just going to be it's just going to be an inhibitor and a back away. But we were just singing his praises, and typically it's a caster curse, but it was a blessing in disguise as Irrelevant lands an incredible equalizer across all the Fnatic members. He melts them where they stand, and SK found an ace. The dragon respawning 35 seconds. Fnatic need to make their way towards it, because the number of options that they have left.
Stop the recall.
The fans still showing their support, still believing in their squad. But we have the pro view from Irrelevant. He realizes that his team is in danger. Great ultimate from Isma to lock down Razork. And then watch this play from Irrelevant here. Waits for the right time. The pings to go in, coming through. He's saying, hang on, I see an angle, I see the angle, and he finds it onto the backline. The whirling death from the Draven as well. The flash in along with the stopwatch. And SK find themselves the ace. Very well played team fight from SK.
Nisqy finding the place to recall and then TP back in as well, meaning that Humanoid was not able to escape. Dragon up. An 8,000 gold lead now for SK. They've reset 3 items complete on Irrelevant. He has the equalizer back. Isma on the front line. The Magnet Storm off cooldown as well. There's the arrow onto Isma. Razork stepping forward, Bolt Breaker out. Isma low. Goes in, tries to steal it, but Noah secures it. The call of the Forge God comes out. And even with the hostile takeover, Fnatic have already taken over the fight. They found one. Exakick forced around the bottom side of the fight. Humanoid still has the package if they want a little bit more.
Poke is good. The stun connects onto Noah. Does have the cleanse. Chooses not to use it. The top wave, someone needs to go and catch. Humanoid is responsible. A bit of a misstep there from SK. They couldn't quite get back out onto the map fast enough. It was Fnatic that was first to the objective. But have they found a pick here?
It's Oscarinin.
Flashes
pretty
away.
hard to kill.
He's going to lose that summoner's
Oh,
spell.
Noah has the cleanse still here. Will use it immediately as Nisqy thinks he can take him on in an ADC battle. And Noah very happily accepts your donation.
The Fnatic fans erupt with Nisqy dead. It just continues to buy more time for Fnatic. Crucially, Baron 40 seconds, Nisqy 33. A slight disconnect, but it should be enough for Nisqy to arrive in time. The question is, what can Fnatic do in that window? They're pushing out top. Humanoid looks like he wants to base, spend some of the money that he's picked up. But look at these items from Fnatic. Humanoid and Noah are not weak. They just need the right fight. The question is, can they find it with this fire-breathing monster that is Irrelevant?
Still no flash on the Rumble, nor Isma, nor Nisqy. No cleanse for Noah, but he still has flash E, so very safe on the Ezreal. Even if he does get caught out. Ward in the back of the pit will give Fnatic enough vision. We're not going to get caught out by the same trick twice from SK. Now cleared with that control. Nisqy's Destiny, about half the way off its cooldown, will give them extra vision when he gets that back up. How will SK approach this? So far we've seen a lot of try to gain mid prio into push towards the dark side of the map. That's what happens, but Fnatic match with 4.
Ooh, that's a scary brush. Fnatic know it. They have a lot of poke to check it, though.
Double supers in the top lane. In about 25 seconds, someone's going to have to answer that.
I mean,
likely
Oscar
Humanoid
Rennet
or Oscar. Yeah, Oscar because of the TP. You're right, Betty, but Humanoid might do it because he's just quick.
He also doesn't have the package. I'm curious as to when that comes off cooldown. Regardless, Baron is alive. SK can look to force it. The top wave being cleared out. Level 16 for Humanoid is big. 3 points down, his ultimate. The Baron begins.
Package still 3 minutes away for Humanoid as well, so it's going to be a very long dance. A tango to end all tangos. He's going to have that back up in time. Baron down to 10,000.
Could very well be it.
Puts a little bit more damage on it. Irrelevant looking for that
Keep
flank
your eyes
position.
on
No
Isma.
flash for him. Isma goes in, only finds one. Noah still has the flash. The equalizer lands on 2, but Isma falls low. Redemption will bring it back up a little bit, but he's getting chunked. The big one from Humanoid alongside Noah enough, and now Irrelevant is in the wrong side of the rift. He's burnt out by Fnatic. Nisqy chipped away at as well as Humanoid flashes. Exa blocks him. Humanoid finds one, Exa flashes away.
Noah goes for
Noah's
it.
looking for more. Noah doesn't want it to end here. Exa can't find the damage. Stun card from Nisqy. The misses the wild cards wouldn't done enough. In the end, a 4-for-1 in favor of Fnatic, the Baron in their eyes.
But they found the fight that they were looking for. The engage was good from Isma, but it wasn't good enough.
Nisqy's TPing, Nisqy's TPing.
Is he going to try and end the
Super is going to
game?
look for the end. They don't have Baron empowered recalls yet. There's the TP.
Oh,
Can he
the
take it in time?
TP.
It's ADTF. Will he get it in time? Oscar's going to get back. Nisqy gets one Nexus Tower. The stun card, not enough. The Jamada Crystal Arrow coming out as well. But Nisqy won't be able to do this. He'll take 2 Nexus Towers, but the recalls come out in time. He tries to get away, but he can't escape today.
Ooh.
Double Nexus Towers down as the inhib in top lane respawns.
I do like the play from Nisqy. It gives SK a win condition. If they can't win these fights anymore, they've always got to be scared of this Twisted Fate going for the back door. Look at this engage from Isma, but look at the positioning of Irrelevant. The Rumble ultimate doesn't quite come through until now. It doesn't connect onto Noah. It does good damage onto Humanoid, but the front line is still strong for Fnatic, so they can go for the re-engage. Good poke lands from both Humanoid and Noah. Irrelevant is separated from his team. DOS gets picked off, and Humanoid goes to the flash. He gets the flash out from Nisqy. He does give a lot of gold over to Exakick. But in the end, it is a victorious fight for Fnatic. And look at this, 30 seconds on the Elder. Fnatic are paranoid about the base. They have the inhibitor.
And there's no TP for Nisqy.
Has Oscarinin put a ward down? Yes, that's it. So he just went back to put a ward down. so that there is a TP possibility for Humanoid. He now needs to hold on to this, given that Nisqy could show up at their back door at any moment. Fnatic have control over the mid wave. And here we go. Isma being chipped away at. This is where Fnatic feels the most comfortable. Their poke damage doing good work. Arrow.
Onto Nisqy. Isma going in. Equalizer laid down by Irrelevant. They're putting so much damage down with a hostile takeover as well. 1-for-1 so far as Oscarinin flashes away. Noah trying to do everything he can. Irrelevant on the backline though. Humanoid burning. Humanoid ticking down and he'll fall. John low as well. Irrelevant goes out. Now Noah in a 2v1 trying to do it all for Fnatic. He's the highest health in the game, but he can't quite get the kills. Elder is up, and there's no jungler for Fnatic, but Noah, Jun, and Oscarinin can defend.
Irrelevant's damage is terrifying. Very close to the death cap now as well. Noah knows that he can't start the Elder, but SK think that they might be able to.
Noah just wants to chip here. True shot barrage, dodge.
Oh, he's playing at
Noah
the
goes
edge.
forward, the arrow onto DOS. Isma can block. He doesn't though. Isma just lets DOS take the damage, maybe thinking he was in the way of the Mystic shot. Isma down to half as well.
Noah will not let them anywhere near this Elder. Jungler up in 3 seconds time. Maybe they just start this one off.
They're gonna do it. We've worked out how to get past the curse of EU Ezreal, Vedi. Just have a Korean player. It's worked for Fnatic so far. Noah can dive back in, chips away at Isma. They're holding the Elder until Razork is in the vicinity. Humanoid has TP, he's got the package as well. Isma has to pull off a steal to end all steals here because it's already down to 3,000. He backs away, Elder secures the whirling death. Not enough, the arrow dodged to the side of, but the cease and desist onto Irrelevant will burn him down. Nisqy's in the base, the TP from Humanoid. Exakick can stop it, he doesn't have it. He doesn't have the blood rush to stop it, he can't stand him to the side, but Jun's down. Noah can open up now as Exakick will fall. Humanoid kills off Nisqy, and that's it, that's game. Fnatic will make their way to a match with MDK.
Fnatic are able to find the fights that they need to turn this game around. It's heartbreak for SK, but it is nothing but cheers from the arena as the Fnatic fans erupt.
Noah once saved the entire animal population of the world, and here he has saved the Fnatic faithful on his back. Fnatic will make it through to the final weekend of winter.
An incredibly close game. It felt like that it was over for Fnatic so many times. Irrelevant was an incredible series, just was not enough. Fnatic, they weathered the storm. They found good fight multiple times. And at the very end, it came down to that Elder. They were able to secure it, and they won out. Well played to Fnatic. A hard-fought series. Credit to SK. They showed some fantastic stuff today, but it wasn't quite enough. It will be Fnatic moving on to our finals weekend to fight MDK on Friday.
Banger of a series, to be honest. Very back and forth. Key highlights for both the teams. Irrelevant on form today as well. SK will come back fighting, I'm sure, in spring, but for now, we will say adieu to them. And we'll see Fnatic in the next round. We'll see Swiffer consoling his fans. Well, Fnatic live to fight another day. Absolute cinema from Fnatic fans. Although I don't think, maybe game 2, the Karma game was a little bit about Humanoid. This game much more than Noah's story.
Noah definitely showed up in that final game. His Ezreal. We were skeptical.
Yeah.
2 wins on the champion, though.
He's 100% of the LEC wins.
Yes, he is.
On Ezreal in 2024.
Yep. Very well played from him.
Single-handedly bringing the win rate up to 50%.
And Fnatic games always close. They went the full series all the way against G2. Yeah. Doing the same thing again here against SK. Their games are often nail-biters.
It's true.
And we're going to get... So Fnatic versus Mad games are also always crazy. So we're going to get to see that next week as well. What a fantastic series.
Yeah. Well, an incredible series all around. I believe I see Noah standing behind us with Troubleinc. Oscar's there as well. Let's hand it over to them. Take it away.
Thank you, Mehdi. What an incredible atmosphere for you guys here. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining, Noah. Such a close series. I had such a series of questions, but I'm gonna come to you first, Oscarinin. You were on tank duty, 07 again, for this particular series. How did it feel for you, specifically in that last game where Rumble got completely out of control?
I mean, it felt pretty bad, obviously, because the Rumble was kind of 1v9 in fights. But I think we had a really good comp against him. I think we could play kind of easily if we teamfighted well. So, yeah, we just played our comp and he couldn't really play really well, I think.
Noah, from your perspective, how does it feel as an AD carry to play into such a fed Rumble?
I know Rumble can easy carry, but I played Ezreal, so I knew I can carry this game.
So you were just better?
Yes.
Thank you so much, guys, for all the cheers. Now, Oscarinin, the series versus G2 was also very close. Was there something that you guys learned from that series that you implemented to win this one?
I think we changed like a lot of things, but not in-game, I would say, more outside. For sure, we learned in-game things and we focused on more things. But I think we just tried to improve our habits and our outside game, I guess. And yeah, I think that's what we're working on.
Now, I want to ask you a question because I love Ezreal so much. But we know, same as Fiora's and Camille's, the Western world, not very good on Ezreal. Let's face it. But you're not from the Western world, so what are your views and opinions on Ezreal as a champion right now after the buffs?
I think Ezreal is strong champion, but it needs like strong support too. If you don't have like passive support, if you have passive support, you can't do anything much. So if you pick strong support, I think Ezreal is good.
What would you say is a very strong support for Ezreal?
Like Ashe, Karma, like Leona, or like something like this. Not Yumi.
No Yumi, okay, got it. No Yumi with Ezreal. Now, Oscar, coming onto the top side meta, it feels like it's pretty wide open. There's a bunch of carries you can play. ADTF was added into the pool as well, so there's a lot of ranged champions too. What are your views on the top side meta right now?
Yeah, I think it's super open, and I think you can even play more champions than what we're seeing right now. So, yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the top lane meta right now. I think it's super fun, for sure.
Noah, who do you think played the best this series in your team?
Me.
Well, congratulations, you are the key player of the series.
I know I'm best. It is Christy.
You deserve this, Noah. It was a fantastic series from you. I'm going to come to you, Oscarinin. You are playing a best-of-5 versus McCoy. Seeing them play today, is there anything concerning moving into that best-of?
I don't think so. I think we just will play the same as before. Like I think we already beat them to 0. The second game was a bit shaky, but I think if we draft well, I think we should win easily too.
I love how you bring up draft. Draft is a bit... it's a little bit of 50-50 when you go up against McCoy, because they have this huge champion pool, especially Merwin. He can bring so many weird picks. Are you prepared for all of them?
I'm prepared for sure. I know what he can play because I know him from Spain, so I'm really prepared for it, yeah.
Awesome. And Noah, do you have anything to say to your jungler who's waiting over on PGL?
You mean Ivan?
Razork.
Today, Ivan's condition not good, he said, but he played really well, so I want to say him good job.
Awesome, thank you very much. And for all the fans here, Razork is going to be joining PGL, so you guys can also move over to the fan zone if you want to join him and cheer for him as well. Thank you so much from our side. Laure, take it away.
Thank you. 감사합니다.